The black void of space around Earth suddenly shimmered with a glint of cold metal. It was the Draconian Armada, 20 kilometers of interlocked warships, their jagged hulls like the scales of a colossal cosmic serpent. The fleet blocked out the sun, casting an unnatural shadow over the blue planet below. From the command bridge of the flagship Vraxtal, Warlord Vrax gazed down at the world he was about to conquer. "Prepare the transmission," Vrax commanded, his voice a hiss laced with venomous certainty. "Let them hear our ultimatum. Let them know the fate that awaits those who defy the Draconian Empire." Across Earth's vast networks, the transmission crackled to life. A booming, guttural voice filled every communication channel, in every language understood by the galaxy's species. "Humans of Earth," it began, cold and unforgiving. "You stand before the might of the Draconian Empire. Surrender unconditionally, or your world will be reduced to ashes. Resistance is futile." Governments and militaries scrambled. Earth's leaders convened in frantic secrecy. But when the demand came, no official response was sent. No defiant roar. No plea for mercy. Only silence. On the surface, people looked to the skies, watching the black silhouette that blotted out the sun. News feeds buzzed with panic and speculation, but no one truly knew what to do. The galactic community held its breath, expecting the swift fall of the primitive planet. Yet, just as the Draconian ultimatum ended, something unexpected happened. A strange broadcast hijacked the transmission channels, a voice speaking in archaic human tongues, long extinct languages buried in Earth's history. It was a riddle, indecipherable, yet haunting. "When the serpent's shadow falls, the sleeping titan shall awake." The words sent a ripple of unease through the Draconian command. Their communications officers furiously tried to track the source, but it was gone, vanished into the digital ether as mysteriously as it appeared. On board the Vraxtal, whispers began circulating among the officers. "Ghost signals," muttered one engineer. "Precursor tech." Or worse, hissed a tactical officer. "A warning." Warlord Vrax slammed his clawed fist on the command console. "Enough. We will not be frightened by ancient legends and cryptic nonsense. These humans are weak. Their silence is cowardice." But deep beneath Earth's surface, something stirred. In the frozen expanse of Antarctica, a secret facility hummed with energy. Scientists monitored sensors that had suddenly begun detecting anomalies, distortions in gravity, sudden electromagnetic bursts, and the faintest trace of exotic particles never before observed. Dr. Layla Morgan, leading the research team, stared at her screens in disbelief. "This isn't natural. Something is responding to their arrival, but not with weapons. It's like the planet itself is alive, waking up." Her assistant's eyes were wide. "You think Earth is defending itself?" Layla nodded slowly, tension tightening her jaw. "Or preparing for something far worse." Back in orbit, Draconian scouts cautiously approached the planet's atmosphere. One after another, they reported strange interferences. Sensors flickered, signals dropped. A stealth fighter vanished, its last transmission a fragmented scream. "Recall all scouts," Vrax barked. "We will not be toyed with by a primitive species." But the damage was done. Fear seeped into the Armada like a poison. The Draconian soldiers, bred for war and conquest, felt a chilling uncertainty that gnawed at their confidence. Far across the galaxy, the news of the Draconian Armada's arrival and the mysterious broadcast spread like wildfire. Alien ambassadors in the Galactic Council exchanged worried glances. The Draconians were feared as unstoppable conquerors. If Earth truly resisted, or worse, wielded unknown power, the balance of the entire galaxy could shift. In a quiet corner of a distant star system, a renowned alien historian murmured, "It has begun. The awakening." The Draconian fleet hung in orbit like a predator poised to strike. Yet, despite the overwhelming firepower arrayed above the blue planet, no ships moved to land troops or launch bombardments. Instead, the invincible armada found itself besieged by a foe it could neither see nor understand. Probes sent to map the planet's surface disappeared one after another. Communications scrambled and went silent. The very space around Earth seemed warped, as if reality bent and twisted to an unseen will. On board the flagship Vraxtal, tension thickened the air. Warlord Vrax paced the bridge, his reptilian eyes darting to the sensor readouts. What is this trickery? Our scanners should see everything. Where are our scouts? Lieutenant Kale, the fleet's chief sensor officer, swallowed hard. Sir, multiple probes have gone dark near the equatorial regions. Attempts to re-establish contact are failing. Signals distort beyond comprehension. Vrax's tail lashed angrily. Send in the fighters. Crush whatever hides beneath the clouds. Seconds later, stealth corvettes launched in swift arcs toward Earth's atmosphere. But as they neared the surface, the fleet's screens flickered violently. The corvettes vanished without a trace. No distress calls, no debris, nothing but silence. The Draconian War Council erupted in chaos. Do you think the planet is protected by some ancient defense system? Growled Commander Zrax, his scales bristling. The legend spoke of precursor technology, forgotten war machines capable of erasing entire fleets. Are we facing ghosts? Vrax's jaw clenched. Ghosts do not silence a fleet without a fight. They do not steal my soldiers like prey. This is something else. In orbit, the strange electromagnetic pulses grew stronger, interfering with ship systems and sensors alike. Some crew members whispered of hearing faint voices on the comm channels, whispers that spoke no Draconian language but carried a chilling familiarity. Draconian historian Vexum, assigned to the flagship, approached the warlord with a grave expression. The human silence is not weakness, my lord. It is strategy. Their ancestors once walked this planet for millennia. Some believe they were just apes with primitive tools, but the ancient texts, found deep in our libraries, hint at something buried beneath Earth's surface. Something alive. Vrax's eyes narrowed. What are you suggesting? Not just alive, Vexum whispered, lowering his voice. Sentient. Earth itself may be a guardian, the living fortress that defends its own children. The idea was met with scorn by some, fear by others, but the evidence was impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, in the icy research outpost beneath Antarctica, Dr. Layla Morgan and her team worked furiously. The ancient ruins they'd uncovered pulsed with energy, revealing a labyrinth of hidden chambers and strange devices. What was once dormant now stirred with the approaching threat. Layla's fingers danced across her console as she traced the faint signals. There's a pattern here, like a heartbeat. It's growing stronger. Her assistant, Raj, frowned. Is it trying to communicate? Not communicate, Layla said quietly. Defend. Back on Earth's surface, a flash of light tore across the night sky, seen only by a handful of watchers and satellites. An invisible wave pulsed outward, disrupting the Draconian fleet's targeting arrays and scrambling their navigation systems. In the Vraxtal command bridge, the lights flickered, alarms blaring, shields failing, propulsion systems erratic. Kale shouted. Vrax slammed his fist on the console. Form defensive ranks. Do not let fear paralyze you. But fear had already taken root. The Draconian soldiers, bred for conquest and domination, felt powerless against an unseen, intangible enemy. Some muttered that Earth itself was fighting back, that the planet was alive, and its children were no longer alone. Outside the warship's thick hulls, space seemed to shimmer and twist. Shadowy forms flickered on sensors, transient blips that appeared and vanished too quickly to target. Crew members swore they saw figures moving inside the fleet's own corridors, phantoms without faces. Warlord Vrax stared out a viewport, jaw tight. We came here expecting to conquer. Instead, we are hunted. This is no ordinary world. We must find the source of this power. His eyes locked on the glowing fracture that had appeared above the Antarctic region, a tear in space shaped like a human eye, watching silently. "Prepare an assault team," Vrax ordered. "If the planet defends itself, we will root it out, or die trying." The Draconian Armada's patience was gone. Warlord Vrax's fury rippled through the fleet like a tempest as he ordered an all-out strike on the planet's surface. If Earth was to be conquered, it would not be by cautious probing, it would be by overwhelming force. From the flagship Vraxtal, hundreds of warships surged downward, breaking the silence of Earth's orbit. Energy cannons flared, lighting the darkened skies with streams of destructive plasma. Cities across the planet's surface were incinerated in seconds. The Draconians made their brutal presence unmistakably clear. But then, the impossible happened. The first warship to breach the atmosphere flickered, then vanished. No explosion, no debris, just gone. The sensors on the Vraxtal and surrounding vessels scrambled madly, searching for the lost ship's signature, but there was nothing. The craft had simply ceased to exist. Vrax's scales bristled with rage and disbelief. "Report. What happened to Site 7? Lieutenant Cal's voice was strained. "Impossible to say, my lord. Sensor logs show a sudden spatial distortion engulfed the ship. It vanished from all known dimensions." Before the fleet could recover, another warship, then another, began to disappear, one after the other. Panic spread like wildfire. The Draconian soldiers watched in horror as entire squadrons blinked out mid-flight. No distress signals, no wreckage, no survivors. It was as if Earth was swallowing them whole. Aboard Vraxtal, the atmosphere grew tense, thick with fear. Commander Drax pounded his clawed fist on the console. "This is madness. Our fleet is disintegrating. How do we fight an enemy that erases us without a trace? Could it be precursor technology?" Vexim speculated. Some kind of spatial trap, or a dimensional fold. Vrax's eyes narrowed, cold and calculating. "Whatever it is, it's no accident. Earth's defenses are more advanced than we dared imagine. But I will not be undone by myths and shadows." Desperate to regain control, Vrax ordered a small elite strike team to descend to the planet's surface. To land, find the source of this power, and crush it. As the team's dropships pierced Earth's atmosphere, the War Council waited tensely for a signal. What came instead chilled every bone. The strike team's last transmission was a burst of static, then a fragment of broken voices, distorted and alien. "They are not human. They walk through our hulls like smoke. We are losing everything." Then silence. No contact. No rescue. In orbit, the Draconian fleet commander stared at the fading signal, numb. This is no longer a battle. It is a nightmare. Suddenly, all communication systems on the Vraxtal flickered violently. The ship's instruments scrambled. The walls seemed to ripple like water. "Energy spikes," Cal shouted, spatial integrity failing. Before anyone could react, the flagship itself began to flicker, shifting in and out of reality. For a terrifying moment, the hull vanished entirely, revealing only the infinite void beyond. Then reappeared. The crew was stunned into silence. Vrax growled, his voice low and harsh. "What sorcery is this? Are we caught between dimensions?" From the bridge, the ominous shape of a glowing fracture shimmered outside the viewport, an enormous tear in space itself, pulsating with eerie light. It took the form of a human eye, watching coldly and silently. Outside, the galaxy held its breath. In the Galactic Council chambers, whispers of the Draconian fleet's vanishing spread like wildfire. Alien delegates debated the implications. Was Earth a planet? A weapon? A living god? Among them, a seasoned envoy from the Telfar system whispered gravely to a colleague, "If this is true, if Earth truly bends reality, no force in the galaxy will stand against it." Meanwhile, deep beneath Antarctica's ice, Dr. Layla Morgan's team monitored the glowing fracture with a mix of fear and awe. Layla's eyes shone with determination. We've awoken something. Something far older and more powerful than the Draconians imagined. Raj looked over her shoulder, unsettled. Do you think this is what's destroying their fleet? She nodded. It's defending us. And it's only just beginning. Back aboard the Vraxstall, Warlord Vrax clenched his jaw, his mind racing. The Draconian Armada, once the terror of countless star systems, was unraveling before his eyes, consumed by a force they could neither understand nor fight. The question that haunted him was clear. Had they stumbled upon the awakening of an ancient titan, the true power behind humanity's mysterious silence? And if so, could they escape with their lives? The galaxy was in turmoil. News of the Draconian Armada's mysterious vanishing above Earth spread rapidly through interstellar channels, igniting panic and disbelief. The invincible conquerors, feared across countless star systems, had simply ceased to exist. Entire squadrons, entire fleets had been erased without a trace. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, a mosaic of alien species gathered in tense debate. Representatives with scales, feathers, tentacles, and metallic exoskeletons spoke in hushed tones, their voices laced with worry. Ambassador Killen of the Saurian Dominion, longtime allies of the Draconians, slammed his clawed fist on the council dais. This is no accident. The Draconian Empire faces annihilation from an unknown power. If Earth wields such force, it threatens us all. Across the chamber, Ambassador Nira of the peaceful Lyrian Collective countered, her luminous eyes calm but firm. Or Earth has awakened something long dormant, something ancient. Our archives speak of precursor civilizations, beings who shaped worlds and warred with cosmic titans. Perhaps Earth is not merely a planet, but a key to forces older than we imagined. Whispers rippled through the chamber. The very idea that humanity, the young, isolated species once considered primitive, could be linked to galaxy-shaking ancient powers was almost unthinkable. Meanwhile, on a remote asteroid orbiting the binary star Tychon, a secretive gathering of galactic intelligence operatives monitored the escalating situation. They had intercepted fragments of the Draconian fleet's last transmissions, garbled messages speaking of walking through hulls like smoke, not human anymore, and something beyond death. The precursor theorem, murmured Valen, a seasoned alien analyst. It's the idea that the youngest species in a galaxy can trigger the reawakening of ancient forces, beings who exist beyond time and space. Earth may be the fulcrum of such an event. In orbit above Earth, the glowing fracture, the vast tear in the fabric of space, shaped like a human eye, pulsated steadily. It disrupted all attempts by alien ships to scan the planet. Every probe sent through was lost, swallowed by an unseen force. Back on the planet's surface, Dr. Lila Morgan and her team continued to delve into the mysteries beneath Antarctica's ice. Their excavations revealed ancient precursor ruins that seemed to hum with the same strange energy as the fracture. This is more than just alien technology, Lila explained during a briefing. It's a network, possibly a planetary consciousness. The planet is alive, and it's been waiting for this moment. Her assistant Raj looked skeptical but fascinated. Waiting for what? Layla's eyes flickered with a mixture of fear and hope. For us. For humanity to awaken. Suddenly, a ripple of static burst across their comm devices. A voice spoke, but it was unlike any human language. It was a harmonic vibration, a song encoded in frequencies only the planet could produce. The team fell silent, sensing the enormity of what they had uncovered. Elsewhere, the Draconian remnants clung to survival. Warlord Vrax, once unshakable, was now a commander haunted by his own failures. His flagship drifted at the edge of the glowing fracture, its systems flickering. Our empire is collapsing, Vrax confessed bitterly to his inner circle. The galaxy believed us invincible. But Earth has rewritten the rules. In an emergency broadcast sent through hacked galactic frequencies, a human voice finally spoke for the first time since the ultimatum. To those who come to bring death and conquest, know this: Earth was never yours. You awaken forces you do not understand. We are not the primitive species you assumed. We are the children of the planet, and we stand united. The broadcast was clear, calm, and delivered in perfect galactic standard. The universal language understood across star systems. It sent shockwaves through the galactic community. As the Council deliberated on Earth's next move, a lone alien observer watched from a distant star system. An ancient being, known only as the Galactic Watcher, had guarded the balance of power for eons. The Watcher's eyes glowed with cosmic knowledge. Earth's awakening was inevitable, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The crippled scout ship, Shadowfang 9, limped through the void just beyond Earth's orbit. Its hull was scared, systems flickering like a dying fire. Pilot Corin's breathing was ragged inside the claustrophobic cockpit as he clung to consciousness. He knew the truth. The Draconian Armada was unraveling, and the secret lay somewhere beneath Earth's surface, hidden, terrifying, and alive. Desperate to warn his fleet, Corin keyed the comm system for one final transmission. The static hissed as his voice trembled with urgency. They are not human anymore. They bleed stars, walk through our shields like smoke. This planet, it's a living titan. The message sputtered and broke as spatial anomalies treaded the ship's sensors. Then came the coordinates, an impossible location deep within Earth's core. Core, the fracture, the eye. Corin whispered, eyes fluttering closed. Suddenly, an explosion rocked Shadowfang 9. The ship lurched violently, sending Corin tumbling against the cockpit frame. He managed one last breathless scream before silence swallowed him whole. Back aboard the flagship Braxtal, the fleet's command officers stared at the transmission logs in stunned silence. Commander Zrax's voice was a low growl. The core, the fracture, that's where the power is. Warlord Vrax slammed his fist against the console, his mind racing. Then that is where we will go. We will tear open Earth's heart and crush whatever lurks within. But even as he spoke, the glowing fracture in orbit pulsed with radiant energy, its vast eyes seeming to watch, judge, and prepare. Across the galaxy, the last echoes of Corin's message reached the ears of alien scientists, politicians, and warriors alike. The words ignited a firestorm of theories and fears. In the underground research complex beneath Antarctica, Dr. Layla Morgan listened to the transmission with grim fascination. Bleeding stars, she murmured. They must have encountered something truly extraordinary, something that bends the very essence of life. Raj shook his head in disbelief. If the planet itself is alive, what kind of creature exists inside it? Layla's eyes locked on the monitors that tracked the fracture's energy pulses. Not a creature. A force. A consciousness. Something ancient and powerful. Meanwhile, in orbit, Earth's hidden defenses began to stir. Beneath the oceans and lunar craters, sleek, unknown vessels emerged, stealthy and alien, yet unmistakably human in origin. The galactic community watched in stunned silence as humanity revealed a secret long kept. Human pilots, enhanced beyond normal limits by unknown technologies, soared through the void. Their eyes shimmered with cosmic fire, their ships bending space and time to their will. The humans spoke no more of surrender. Instead, they prepared for war, a war that would reshape the galaxy's future. In the depths of Earth's core, the glowing fracture widened, pulsing with a light that seemed to originate from the very heart of the planet. The awakening had begun. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, far below the frozen wastes of Antarctica and the bustling cities above, a vast chamber pulsed with radiant light. The walls glistened with crystalline formations that thrummed in harmony with the planet's heartbeat. At the chamber's center, an enormous core of energy, a glowing sphere of shifting hues, radiated warmth and power that defied understanding. Dr. Layla Morgan stood at the edge of the chamber, awe etched across her face. Her team had finally uncovered the truth. The living titan was not a myth, but a planetary intelligence, a conscious entity bonded with the very fabric of Earth. "This is incredible," Layla whispered, her voice trembling. "The planet is not just alive. It is aware. It has been waiting, watching, and now it is waking." Around her, technicians adjusted instruments that monitored the core's energy pulses. The readings were off the charts, far beyond any known natural phenomenon. Suddenly, the chamber's crystalline walls began to shimmer, projecting images, memories from eons past, ancient civilizations, cosmic battles, and towering beings of unimaginable power flickered in a holographic display. Layla's eyes widened. These are the precursors, the architects of galaxies. They created this planet as a sentinel, a guardian against the darkness that once threatened all life. Raj, her assistant, swallowed hard. "The darkness? You mean the Titans? The entities the galaxy fears?" Layla nodded slowly. "Yes, Earth was designed to hold one of them, a cosmic titan imprisoned in the planet's core, bound by precursor technology. The Draconian Armada disturbed the balance. And now, the titan stirs." As the realization settled, the glowing sphere at the chamber's heart began to pulse faster, emitting waves of energy that rippled through the planet's crust. Far above, satellites monitoring Earth's magnetic field recorded unprecedented spikes. Oceans churned, and storms ignited with supernatural fury. In orbit, the Draconian flagship Braxtal struggled to maintain position near the fracture, the vast glowing eye that had grown larger and more intense. Warlord Vrax's voice crackled with fury. "The Titan's power is overwhelming. Our ships falter. Our weapons fail. We must retreat, but not without a final strike." Kale, his chief sensor officer, shook his head. "Sir, retreat may not be possible. The fracture is spreading, warping spacetime. If we try to flee, we risk being consumed." Vrax's eyes burned with stubborn resolve. "Then we fight, even if it costs us everything." Back on Earth, human pilots prepared for war in their sleek starcraft, their eyes gleaming with determination. They had been awakened by the planet's call. Enhanced by the Titan's energy, wielding powers that transcended technology and biology. A young pilot, Mira, adjusted her flight suit, feeling the surge of power coursing through her veins. "The Titan is our guardian," she said softly. "We protect Earth and the galaxy." As the battle loomed, the cosmic Titan within Earth's core began to shift, its form becoming more defined. A colossal, shimmering figure woven from light and energy, bound within the planet, but awakening with a force that could change the fate of all worlds. The galaxy held its breath. The void outside Earth's orbit twisted and shimmered as the Draconian Armada prepared for their final desperate assault. The glowing fracture, the vast, eye-shaped tear in space, pulsed ominously, a silent sentinel guarding the planet's core. Warlord Vrax stood on the bridge of the Vraxtal, his gaze locked on the eerie spectacle beyond the viewport. His scales were slick with sweat, jaw clenched tight with fury and frustration. "Today, we either conquer Earth or perish trying," he declared, his voice thunderous. Around him, the remaining Draconian fleet bristled with weapons primed to fire. But despite their superior firepower, a shadow of doubt gnawed at even the fiercest warriors. The enemy was unlike anything they had faced before, a living force that seemed to warp reality itself. Below, human pilots launched from hidden bases, their ships streaking into the void with deadly grace. Led by Mira, their leader, they moved with uncanny precision, weaving through the chaotic battlefield like dancers in a cosmic ballet. Mira's voice crackled in the comm channels. "All units, hold formation. Target the fracture. Disable it before it consumes us all." The humans unleashed a barrage of energy weapons, seeking to disrupt the glowing tear. For a moment, the fracture flickered, its immense power wavering. But then came the Titan's response. From the depths of Earth's core, a surge of radiant energy exploded upward, sweeping through the planet's magnetic field and extending into space. The fracture expanded violently, emitting shockwaves that shredded Draconian shields and disabled weapon systems. Ships were thrown into turmoil, spinning helplessly in the void. On the bridge of the Vraxtal, alarms blared as systems failed one by one. "Shields at 20%, Kale shouted. "Hull integrity compromised." Vrax's eyes burned with defiance. "Raise the assault teams. We take the fight to the surface. The Titan will fall." Dropships launched toward the Earth, their engines glowing as they pierced the atmosphere. But as they approached the glowing fracture over Antarctica, reality itself seemed to twist. The ships flickered, their forms distorted by unseen forces. Inside one dropship, Commander Drax gritted his teeth. "Hold steady. We're almost through." But the ship's hull rippled like liquid, then vanished, erased as if swallowed by the fracture. On the planet's surface, human forces awaited the Draconian invaders. Soldiers augmented by the Titan's energy moved with enhanced speed and reflexes, their weapons humming with power. Mira led the charge, her eyes glowing with cosmic fire as she engaged Draconian troops. The battle was brutal and relentless, each side fighting for survival and supremacy. Above, the Titan's colossal form began to emerge from the fracture, a radiant giant woven from light and energy, its eyes blazing with ancient wisdom and fury. The Titan's voice echoed in the minds of all who fought. "You shall not defile this world." Warlord Vrax felt the weight of the Titan's presence crushing his spirit. Yet he roared defiantly, rallying his troops for one last stand. But as the Titan moved, reality warped further, bending space and time. The Draconian fleet fragmented, many ships slipping into pockets of alternate dimensions, lost forever. In a desperate gambit, Mira piloted her craft through the chaos, aiming to strike the fracture's heart with a focused energy blast. Her voice was steady as she transmitted, "For Earth, for the galaxy." Her weapon fired, a beam of pure energy piercing the Titan's core. The fracture shuddered violently, then began to seal, slowly but surely. The Titan's form faded, returning to the depths of the planet. Its duty fulfilled, for now. In orbit, the remaining Draconian ships retreated, battered and broken, their myth of invincibility shattered. The galaxy had witnessed a new power rise, one born of Earth, ancient and eternal. The silence after the storm was profound. Space around Earth's orbit was littered with the drifting remains of Draconian warships, once a fearsome armada, now a shattered relic of hubris and defeat. The glowing fracture that had terrorized the galaxy was finally sealed, the immense cosmic Titan retreating to its ancient slumber beneath the planet's surface. On board the battered flagship Vraxtal, Warlord Vrax sat alone in the dim command chamber, his once proud posture bowed under the weight of failure. His eyes, sharp and fiery as ever, reflected a hard truth. Earth was no longer just a planet to be conquered, it was a force to be reckoned with. Far below, humanity celebrated their hard-won victory, but knew it was only the beginning. Dr. Layla Morgan stood outside the Antarctic Research Station, gazing toward the horizon as the planet itself hummed with newfound energy. "We have awakened something," she said quietly to Raj. "Not just a protector, but a new era. The galaxy will never be the same." Raj nodded. "The precursors built this to defend life. And now, Earth is the guardian." Across the stars, alien civilizations reeled from the revelation. The Galactic Council convened once more, this time with a new agenda. How would they coexist with a planet that wielded the power of an ancient cosmic Titan? How would the galaxy adapt to the presence of humanity, now awakened to its true potential? Ambassador Nira of the Lyrian Collective addressed the assembly. "Earth has shown us that power comes not from conquest, but from unity with the planet and with the cosmos. We must learn from this new guardian." In the quiet depths of space, a solitary figure watched the events unfold, the Galactic Watcher, an ancient being tasked with maintaining cosmic balance. The Watcher's gaze lingered on Earth's glowing core, its eternal eye reflecting both hope and caution. The children of Earth have awakened the Titan. The galaxy's fate is changed forever, it murmured, a voice like the echoes of distant stars. Back on Earth, Mira stood beside the remnants of the shattered battlefield, her ship resting silently behind her. Her eyes, still glowing faintly from the Titan's energy, scanned the sky. "We fought to protect our home," she said softly. "But now we must be the galaxy's shield. We must prove that Earth's power is a force for peace." As night fell, the glowing fracture beneath Antarctica pulsed once more, a heartbeat of light and promise. The Titan was still there, dormant but vigilant, its ancient power ready to awaken again if ever the galaxy needed it. Humanity had risen from the shadows of obscurity, not as conquerors, but as guardians of a new dawn. The galaxy would watch and wait for the next chapter, the end.